Surviving is the same thing as winning. By Please Down 123. Chapter 18. Face me! With your real face. So how was playing with Guy's team this morning? Kakashi asked. Sasuke and Naruto gave twin groans of pain while Sakura hopped around them with excitement, babbling how she and Lee had had one of their best spars yet. She sparred against an invisible opponent and told him all about how she'd finally gotten the lotus blooms again down. Kakashi was quite glad that Lee and Sakura were getting along well. The first few days of their training had required close eyes, and Guy pulling Lee aside to talk about professionalism and leaving girls who said no thanks alone. Luckily, Lee was a really good kid at heart, and he had accepted the dressing down and promptly and wholeheartedly apologized to Sakura. They were apparently eternal rivals now, emulating their sensei, and some part of Kakashi was genuinely touched. Sorry I sent you off with him after we said ninjutsu focus. Kakashi laughed at the voice. I promise you all an awesome jutsu that aligns with your nature chakra for being such good sports. Naruto at least cheered up visibly at that, dragging himself upright. Sasuke followed him, and Sakura stopped her story, telling to focus. Ninjutsu and nature manipulation focus for the next few days then. Kakashi clapped his hands as his students gathered around him. First off, Sasuke, I have some good news and some bad news for you. Sasuke stared at him, twitching slightly as if worried but also suspicious. The good news is you are doing amazing with your fire chakra manipulation. The hint of a blush on his cheeks told Kakashi how happy the boy was with his praise. The bad news, Kakashi said, reaching out to place a comforting hand on his shoulder, is that your nature affinity isn't fire, it's lightning. There was a moment of stillness as Sasuke's brain seemed to try and comprehend this information, and then reboot. Sakura and Naruto watched from the side, eyes darting between them like this was an intense match. Kakashi tried to keep his face poker straight, but felt a smile already curling his eye. What? Sasuke said flatly. Your affinity is lightning, which is why you've been having a hard time with fire. In fact, I would have said you wouldn't have been able to grasp the manipulation of a secondary nature this early, if not for your background and constant use of fire chakra already. But you've been fighting an uphill battle. You would have been much better to double-check your affinity. Kakashi held out a square of paper to prove it, and as Sasuke took it, slowly pumping chakra, watching it crumple, Sasuke's eye started twitching. What?! Naruto was still a heap of giggles 10 minutes later as Kakashi showed Sasuke how to focus his lightning nature chakra. Kakashi showed him the signs for his simple sparking jutsu, and Sasuke watched him with a deep glower, pointedly ignoring the puddle that was a giggling Naruto, and the way Sakura was basically holding her hands over her mouth to stop her own giggles. When the lightning sparked to life instantly, Sasuke's eye finally stopped twitching, and his sulk fell into a thoughtful expression. He looked at the arcs of electricity dancing across his hand, and when he looked up at Kakashi's encouraging look, he gave a hint of a smile. Your students are terrifying, Genma muttered. Ah, thanks for the compliment, Kakashi smiled. I'm not sure he meant that nicely, Umino remarked. In the distance, standing in the center of the field, Sasuke's whole body sparked with blue lightning. It was one of the first steps to the Chidori, but Sasuke was focusing more on how to manipulate the flow than concentrate it into an attack. Didn't mean it wasn't dangerous, though. Naruto yelped and then burst into smoke after getting too close, the clone vanishing. Kakashi had the clipboard in Umino's hands. There was a flower sticker on the back, a blooming sunflower that was worn and scratched. He was taking copious notes, looking serious as he did so. But his eyes weren't on Team 7. Instead, they were on Kakashi. Watch it, Genma told him. Kakashi looked down at the weeping brush and moved it before it ruined the seal. They were pretty much just mass-producing a bunch of connector seals to help strengthen the barriers on the wall. Not hard if you knew what you were doing, but tedious for the amount needed. I need my paper, Genma-sensei, Tenten called. They had roped Tenten, Naruto, and some chunin kid Genma was apparently teaching on the side to help as well. The kids sat in a neat circle, chit-chatting as they did the connector seals while the adults hovered off to the side. Genma stood to give the kids more supplies as Naruto absently made a handful of more clones to go train with Sasuke and Sakura. They could have had a bunch of clones making seals, but they didn't have the chakra focus to be doing grunt work like that. Clones were handy but not perfect and often were more absent-minded, getting distracted more easily if given boring tasks than the original and less able to focus their chakra, which led to chakra waste. Umino, used to using seals in his work as well, had been roped into helping, or maybe he'd volunteered. Every once in a while, he put down the sealing brush to make notes with only a few scrutinizing glances up at Kakashi. "How did you get them so focused?" Genma asked as he returned. "I could barely get my one kid to focus on the tasks I assigned." Kakashi looked between him and Umino, feeling like this was less friendly conversation and more like he was navigating a minefield. "You have to treat them like puppies. Make sure to be stern, but also be ready to give out treats," Kakashi remarked casually. More notes on the clipboard. "I run snakes!" Kakashi looked up to find an eager Naruto clone holding a couple bags from the corner store. "You're the best!" Tenten jeered. Kakashi smiled fondly as Naruto started distributing snacks to everyone. When he dropped a bottle of tea off with Kakashi, he carefully slipped Kakashi's wallet back into his pocket. Kakashi looked up to find Umino watching with a smirk. "Getting soft," he teased. "More!" Kakashi rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. "Got to keep them fed, just like with puppies." "I got you your favorite!" Naruto declared to Kakashi, holding out 2 rice balls. "Thank you, I'll eat them in a bit," Kakashi told him. "You haven't eaten since breakfast!" Naruto protested, cheeks puffing out. "You gotta eat to stay strong!" "Give it up, kid," Genma laughed. "If you're trying to see under his mask, almost every jonin in the village has tried offering food to do so." "What?" Naruto peered at Genma with confusion. "Why would I give him food to take his mask off?" "You're not even a little curious?" Genma teased. Naruto stared at him, bewildered, then darted a glance at Kakashi, whose smile was turning into a smirk. "Curious about what?" Naruto asked, scratching his head. "About what your sensei's face looks like," Genma said, starting to look as confused as Naruto. "But I already know what sensei's face looks like." Naruto scrunched up his nose. There was a long, long moment of silence. "What?" Genma said flatly. "Sakura, Sasuke," Umino called, voice just as flat. "Do you know what your sensei's face looks like?" The two who had broke off their sparring to eat their own snacks looked up, faces scrunched in almost the same way Naruto's had. Yeah," Sakura said, as if saying, "Duh. We eat together every day. You can't eat with a mask on." "Not like he wears it all the time," Sasuke added with a snort. The two turned back to their snacks, and Naruto looked between the adults before shrugging and dropping beside Tenten to get back to seals. Kakashi grinned at the two men, giving him the deadliest glares he'd seen on them. "They've seen your face," Genma said flatly. "As Sasuke said, I don't wear my mask all the time," Kakashi chirped. "I have worked with you for nearly 17 years!" Genma said, voice rising. "And not once have I seen it!" "Naruto," Umino said sweetly, "can you tell me what your sensei's face looks like?" "Huh? It looks like Kakashi," Naruto said, looking at Umino as if to ask if he was okay. Kakashi nearly cackled as he saw Umino visibly deflate at the answer. "Hey, Sakura!" Genma waved. "What does this bastard's face look like?" Sakura looked between Kakashi's grin and Genma's twitching eye and clammed up. "None of your business," she sniffed, turning her back to him. Kakashi really did cackle as Genma gave a noise like a balloon losing air. "Yo!" Kakashi greeted. "How are you feeling?" "Like I just lost a fight with a wind blade." Hayate smiled, a tad straight. "I wouldn't call it lost," Kakashi said as he took a seat beside the hospital bed. "You're still alive after all." Hayate gave a coughing, raspy laugh. "My students send their regards," Kakashi said, holding out a bouquet of flowers that had a little signed card with well wishes in various hands. "Tell them thank you," Hayate said, smiling faintly as he took the flowers, thumbing the card. Kakashi gave him a moment and helped him arrange the flowers at his bedside. "Care to tell me who it was?" Kakashi asked, tone harmless and idle. Hayate looked at him. Or was it classified? Kakashi asked easily, holding up his hands to show he would accept that information. Hayate watched him, eyes sharp, for all he looked exhausted and wounded. I can tell you, Hayate finally said. It was a sound Jonin. He was trying to reassure another Sannin about the... You know what? The second guy looked like he was a nervous wreck and was babbling more than he should have in the open, and I overheard. Just my luck that the Sand Jonin had good senses. He came after me, and I didn't realize he was even wielding a wind blade until it got me. The nervous wreck came to check if I was dead, but the idiot actually tried to find my pulse instead of double-tapping me. And then he fucked up and didn't actually find my pulse, so when I held my breath, he declared me dead, and they both fled. I'm lucky the Jonin wasn't the one to check. Hayate coughed lightly, a raspy laugh behind it. Luck, he said ruefully, is what kept me alive. Don't discount luck, Kakashi said lightly as he parsed the information. I'd be thankful to luck as long as it brings my comrades home alive. The door opened carefully and Yugao slipped in looking freshly showered, if still exhausted. Ma, you should have taken time to eat as well, Kakashi scolded her lightly. I promised I'd keep an eye on him. She paused but shook her head, holding up a bento he knew was from the cafeteria, which, ew, and then took Kakashi's place in the chair. Her hand immediately found Hayate's, and Kakashi smiled fondly as they both looked at each other softly. He closed the door quietly behind him as he set off to find his team. He'd left them shadowing an annoyed nurse, and could only hope the nurse hadn't snapped and left them locked in a closet somewhere. Kakashi watched as Sakura made rapid hand signs, her lips pressed tight together. When she slammed her hands into the ground, he was impressed by the thickness of the wall that leapt over her in a partial protective dome. Ah! Sakura complained. I can't get it to go completely over me. You'll get it, he assured her, saying nothing of how advanced it already was for a silent jutsu. While jutsus didn't truly require the technique to be shouted out loud, just like it didn't truly need all the hand signs and you could cut it down to the half signs, it was all about focus. Shouting the technique helped center a ninja and their attention, which helped focus their chakra. It was a little psychological trick that was needed before you had mastered the jutsu. But Sakura was starting nearly completely without words. She had the focus and control already and didn't see the need to shout out her jutsu names. Which was good, but was also highly unusual for such a young shinobi who didn't have a lot of ninjutsu experience. She really was very good. Naruto, on the other hand, there was a shout and then a water dragon completely obliterated a rock. Well, Naruto would never have the pinpoint control Sakura did, but he was doing very well for how much chakra he had in his body. Most Jonin would struggle for control to water walk if they had that much heavy chakra weighing them down, but Naruto didn't even have to focus to walk across water now, and that was amazing. Kakashi remembered how it had only taken him a few days to master water walking as well. He learned it nearly as quick as Sasuke, and Sasuke had a thimble of chakra compared to the ocean of Naruto and Nakimi. Naruto's problem was the focus, not the control. If he wanted to, he could narrow all his senses down to one task, but he just didn't often care to. Naruto liked to know everything happening around him, and often let himself be distracted by things around him, which was good for awareness and a trap master, but a little less good when trying to narrowly master one jutsu. Kakashi, did you see my water dragon? It was as big as my fire one! Good job, Kakashi said with a smile. Now try to do it without screaming out the technique name. Naruto grinned and went back to practicing. Kakashi watched him a long moment. Naruto had liked the fire jutsu he'd taught them because he liked explosions, but also because he could tag team with Sasuke with them. But as soon as Sasuke had started mastering lightning, suddenly Naruto was very interested in water, a water dragon, to drench his enemies before Sasuke came in sparking. Sasuke had been the same, mastering fire jutsus that worked well with wind as soon as Naruto got a grasp on his nature chakra. His kids were just such good kids, working together to help strengthen their teammates with no words exchanged.